All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to break down the ultimate funnel to sell high ticket services to take your business to and past $100,000 a month, and more specifically, how to do it in sophisticated markets. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Dylan Wilson, the founder of Catalyst Holdings. And over the last 12 months, I've taken not one, not two, but three separate companies past the $100,000 a month mark. And I did so in 90 days or less each and individual time. Now, with that, I use the exact same funnel with the exact same structure every single time. And so in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what that is. All right, so in order to execute this funnel, it is a little bit more advanced. There is going to be a few things that require a little bit of marketing background or a little bit of marketing understanding in order to properly make this work. Because one of the things that's so important about this funnel is that it works in a sophisticated market, right? Like with my main offer right now, we are an agency that provides cold email, done for you ads, and service delivery for other agencies. Now, if you're watching this video, there's probably like 17 other guys that you're also watching, right? And you already can list off 10 to 15 of my competitors off the top of my head. So despite that, we're still able to get Facebook ad returns like what you can see right here on the screen. And it's because of the way that we've designed our call funnels. So let me break this down. So pulling up into my iPad here, the first like pre-rule with this is you must have a great offer, right? If you don't have a great offer, if you haven't already sold, 5 to 10 people, you haven't proven product market fit with your offer first, well then don't do this. You're just going to waste your time. You're just going to waste your money, and it's totally not worth it, right? If you don't already have a good offer, I posted some recent videos on my YouTube channel where I break down how to create offers that are actively working in today's sophisticated market in 2024 and going into 2025. I highly recommend that you check those out. Now, the fundamentals of how to create a really good offer is the first thing is that we need to solve every single problem. So too many agencies nowadays are just trying to, just do Facebook ads or just do Google ads, and that's it, right? But in order to help a business actually grow, they're going to need a lot more than just Facebook lead gen or just Google ads, right? They're going to need a way to generate leads. They're going to need a way to convert the leads. They're going to need a way to fulfill those leads. And they're also going to need a way to manage their team at scale and do so in a profitable manner. So one of the first things that you can do as a service provider is come up with solutions to each and every single problem that they're going to have as a lead goes from first interacting with their business all the way through to when they've been fully serviced, right? And if you can pull levers and you can optimize your clients' processes and all parts of that, you're going to be able to charge 5 to 10 times more money than you would have before. And in addition to that, a little ninja hack that you can use right now is that especially if you spend time optimizing their clients' fulfillment, you can even leverage that in your marketing by saying, hey, before we even get started, we're going to have to optimize your fulfillment so you can handle 2, 3, 4 times the amount of jobs you are now, or it's not even worth using our lead gen services because that's how many jobs you're going to get. And that's why it's so important that we need to first optimize your fulfillment. So that's a little ninja hack that you can use in your marketing and your sales as well to help you close more deals and also increase the value of your service. Now, a couple rule of thumbs is that what I will do is after I've gone through and I've identified each and individual way to solve every problem from getting leads, closing leads, fulfilling leads, et cetera, pick the ones that have very high value to your customer or to your client and very low cost to you, right? The bigger the gap between the value and the cost, the better, right? For example, helping people with closing clients, right? Well, the highest value thing that we could do for them might be, finding like placing closers on their offer for them, right? But that's also comes with a lot of fulfillment, and that's a high cost of fulfillment too, right? So there's other ways that we could do it where we could do a one-on-one training call, or we could do a group training call, or we could provide them setters, or we could provide them with a course or whatever that case may be. So identify in your specific market which ones have the highest value and the lowest cost to fulfillment for you. And the general rule of thumb is that you should be able to sell each individual part of your service if you pulled everything apart for $25,000. Right? If you didn't sell it all together, it should have the at least of an equivalent value of $25,000. So then when we come in and we sell it for 5 to 10K, it's a no-brainer. It checks the box as a good offer, and we can actually start implementing this call funnel here. So the next thing that we need to do, and this is very important, and this is where I see a lot of people mess up on, is you need to break down the numbers to make sure that this is totally viable. Okay, so a couple simple numbers here. Let's say our goal is $100,000 a month, where we're going to need approximately $75,000 in new cash collected, plus, any rebills and recurring revenue will put us over that $25,000 a month mark. So just some simple numbers here, but these are the first numbers that you need to calculate on your own and able to run this. Okay. Average order value, let's say it's $5,000, but let's say on average, it's not going to be $5,000. It's going to be like, $4,126. Average order value is the average amount somebody pays when they first do business with you, right? So let's say your full service is $10,000 and you sold one PIF, right? You only ever sold PIFs. Well, then your average order value would be $10,000, right? But let's say half of the people that you sold, you did a 2 split at $5,000 each, and the other half was a full PIF. Well, then if you mathed it out, the average order value in that would be $7,500. Okay. The next thing here is your closing percentage, right? So simply, what is your closing percentage, right? If you take 100 calls, if you take 10 calls, how many of them do you close? The next thing is your show percentage. These are the numbers that you need to know as you begin to map out this funnel. Let's say for example here, it's 65%. And the last thing here is cost per book call, right? So this is the average of what it's going to cost for when you're running Facebook or YouTube ads in order to actually book a call on your calendar. So if you don't know that, we typically strive to have our cost per call anywhere between $20 and $70. But if you want to be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more safe, you can put $100 for simple math. Or if you know that you're in an industry where it's a little bit harder to book calls, you could be anywhere between $200, $300, $400, $500. I've even seen $900 cost per book calls on profitable funnels. Okay, so once you've established what your key metrics are, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your average order value and you're going to divide it by goal, and that's going to tell you how many new clients that we need to get. Then we're going to take the number of new clients that we need to get, and we're going to divide it by our closing percentage to tell us how many showed and live calls we're going to need to take. Then from there, we're going to take how many showed and live calls we need to take, and we're going to divide it by our show percentage to get how many book calls that we actually need to book. So in this case, it's 116. Then we're going to take our 116 book calls. We're going to times it by our $100 cost per book call, and that's going to tell us that we need to spend $11,600 in order to book enough calls to get enough shows to close at 20% with our average order value to collect our first $75,000 in upfront cash collected. Now, another key thing to also remember here is as you're doing this, and as you're doing this for, projecting from 1 month out, 2 month out, 3 month out, 4 month out, 5 month out, and beyond, on average, a general rule of thumb is to multiply your cost per book call by 1.1 or 1.2 for every $50,000 that you spend. Because as you spend more money, as you go out to cold and colder markets, naturally your marketing is going to get a little bit more inefficient, on average 10 to 20%. And so keep that in your calculations to make sure that your numbers check out. Okay, so once you've checked out the numbers, once you've got your good offer and you've broken down the numbers to know that it is viable, here is the sophisticated market funnel overview. So you're going to start with the ad, right? So the first thing, you're going to be running ads on Facebook, YouTube. Pretty simple. I'll also get into the breakdown, how to script your ads and what you should be saying in the ads as well in a second here. Then it's going to go to a simple opt-in page. From there, they're going to watch a video sales letter. And from there, it's going to be a calendar where they can book a call. And then you're also going to set up a couple emails for the people that opt in but don't watch the VSL yet. You're going to send them a couple VSLs to get them back watching the VSL, and again for booking the call, right? The people that do opt in and they do watch the VSL and they don't yet book a call, sending them a couple emails to get them to book a call. And if you don't have a way to automatically track this, I recommend sending 6 emails in total. The first 3, you can send 3 in the first 1 to 2 days. They are all to rewatch the VSL, and then the next 3 that you send over the next 1 to 2 days, they can be all to book a call. Okay, so that is the sophisticated market funnel overview. Now I'll break down how to do each individual thing here. So the first thing is the ad breakdown. Now with the ad, we're going to want to offer solutions to specific problems that we know our ideal customer is actually having, right? So let's say we're in the roofing business, right? And we want to target roofers that are doing 10 plus jobs per month. This is just an example, right? Well, then we don't want to offer a solution as to how to start a roofing business, right? The first thing that we want to do is we want to get clear with who it is that we're targeting, and then understand what specific problems that they're having at that level. So for example, if a roofing company is struggling with seasonality, meaning that when they come into wintertime, they're not able to make enough money, their overhead costs go up, all these kind of problems, and you know that roofing companies with 10 plus jobs per month, that's a big issue that they're struggling with. Well, then that could be an offer, that could be a solution that you could be offering to them. Like, hey, roofing companies that are doing at least 10 plus jobs per month in the summer, but dying down in the winter, here is how you can, make whatever the case may be to help you get more jobs in the winter. Now, in regards to the framework, here's the framework as to how I like to, create and produce my ads. The first thing is going to be the hook, right? So the hook is going to be the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video or of the ad creative. And in there, really, we just want to hook people in to watching the rest of the video. So it could be like, just give me 30 seconds and I'll show you how to X. Did you know? Haven't you heard? Right? Using these type of language patterns, these type of pattern interrupt language patterns in order to hook people in, and then providing them with a dream outcome with a low effort, cost, and sacrifice in the first 5 seconds with that. Then before I get into what we do or how I done it and all that kind of stuff, this is the big mistake that I actually used to make myself, is I would go hook and then what we do or how to solve the problem. But the thing is that these people don't know who I am. This is like cold traffic, right? And so before I get into explaining what we do, I now provide the proof, undeniable proof that what I'm about to explain to them actually works, right? And it does delay the amount of time from when they actually, get hooked in to when they actually receive the value by an additional 5 to 15 seconds. But it answers the big question and it gets people to actually consume the rest of the ad. Because if you just go into, hey, here's how to make $1 million online, and then you be like step 1, step 2, step 3, but you don't provide proof that you've done that or you've helped people that have done that, then nobody's going to listen to you in the first place. So after I've hooked people in, I'll share 5 to 10 seconds of undeniable proof. That could be case studies. That could be how you built your own company. Or if you are just getting started and you don't have case studies and you don't have social proof, another thing that you can do is you can take an industry case study, right? So you can break down one of the biggest people in your space, but maybe it's the biggest roofing company in America. And you can be like, this is how the biggest roofing company in America leverages Facebook ads to get there. And you could use that as your case study or your proof. Then you get into the what. So simply with the what section of the ad, really that's where you're explaining what to do without telling people how to do it. So typically that'll be like, first you do this, and then you set up this, and then you set up this, and then at last you set up this, right? You explain the 1 to 3 steps that you take in order to achieve the dream outcome, not necessarily how to do it, because that is what they're going to be opting in for, but what it is and what the actual steps that they take. And then you want to spend another 20 seconds or so going through your pitch where you're essentially saying, hey, I will guarantee you everything that you saw earlier. I will guarantee you my hook. I will show you how to do my hook, and also how, all the proof that I showed you, showing them how that you actually were able to pull off that. And then you get into the CTA. Click the link below to get access. Click the link below to learn more. Keep it simple like that. So once you've hooked people in, you've shown proof, you told them what to do, you pitched them that you're able to help them solve this problem for them, and then hit them with the CTA, you send people to the opt-in page. Now with the opt-in page, I like to do curiosity-based opt-ins, because remember, we're selling in a sophisticated market, right? If this was like 6 years ago, you could just say like, hey, book a call, I'll guarantee you 10 clients, and that was it. But the thing is that everybody in the market knows this before, right? Everybody in the market has seen hundreds of thousands of different ads. They've, jumped on calls before. They've been burned in the past, like all of these other problems, right? So instead of going straight to the book a call or straight to the hook or straight to the pitch, I like to first provide value and first to create trainings and whatnot. And then in order to actually get people to consume those trainings, because I'll get into how we actually structure these trainings in a bit, really detailed here in this presentation as well. But before people actually watch your training, we have to sell them on watching that actual training. So for the opt-in, I'll do a curiosity-based headline. Now, a really good place to get inspiration for this is like news articles as well, right? Like fundamentally, if you go onto CNN or Fox News or any of these news articles and you look at all the headlines of the articles, they are simply gatekeeping information, competing against each other, and using, compelling headlines to get you to click, to get you to actually want to consume the content, right? And so that's a very good place to get inspiration for this. Now, from there, it's a simple structure. I've tested fancy landing pages every single time. They've lost in my conversion percentages as opposed to just a simple white on black landing page, and I'll go a headline, subheader, some form of proof. That could be a testimonial, that could be a case study, that could be a screenshot, and then a CTA as well. And then from there, we get into the video sales letter. Now, for my video sales letters, I always like to teach them a new method. So the simple structure of the landing page will be headline. Now, one of the key elements with this as well is that we want the CTA of the curiosity-based opt-in and the headline to be super congruent, right? So for example, let's say, in your opt-in page, you're looking like, learn how we scaled 3 agencies to $100,000 a month, right? And then when I go to the headline of the VSL, it would be like exactly how we scaled 3 agencies to 100K a month, right? We want to maintain ultimate congruency between the different pages of the funnel. So when people click on it, they believe that we fulfilled on their promise. We showed them that they fulfilled on their promise, and they're more likely to believe now that we're going to fulfill on future promises as well. So that's a little tip that you want to include in there. Now, getting into the framework of the actual video. So the first thing, always we'll start with the hooks, simply like your headline, your hook. Typically, it'll be something similar to that's already been on your landing pages as well. Then I'll go into proof. So one of the ways that I like to introduce this is, hey, here's how we X, and by X, I mean case study 1, case study 2, case study 3. Then we'll get into the problem, right? So what I'll typically do is like, now the truth is, and then insert what you've tried in the past just doesn't work anymore. And as a result, and then what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll list 3 to 5 of the daily problems and the daily things that is stressing my ideal clients out and keeping them up at night, right? So, and as a result, you sit on these endless sales calls, but all you do is you get hit with the I need to think about it objections. Now you're so demotivated to even take the sales calls because you won't close them. Then you do close a client out of pure luck because it came through a referral, but now you're scared shitless that you're not going to be able to actually service them, right? See the difference between showing what the actual problems that they're facing is, and then versus like what the actual problem is. Like, for example, when I was talking about, you sit on these sales calls and all you get hit about is the I need to think about it objection. I didn't say, and the first problem is that you suck at sales, or and the first problem is that you have a weak offer. I talk about the symptoms that they're experiencing as a result of the problems that I know that they're having in their business. So it's very important to talk about the symptoms that they're experiencing as you're going through the problems. Then I'll transition to the unmet desire phase, where then I'll typically use something along the lines of, but the good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, if you implement this new model or this new opportunity, and that's going to be what I later explain what it is, you can, and then I'll go into what their actual unmet desires are, right? So this is beyond just, oh, I want to get an extra 10 jobs per month, or, oh, I want to scale to $100,000 a month. It goes more deep into like, what type of lifestyle do they want to live? How many hours do they want to work a day? What do they actually want to be spending their time on in their business, right? Do they want to be removed from management, or do they want to just do management, right? Whatever that case may be, everything's going to be niche specific, and I'll talk about how their life will actually be like. Then I'll get into the authority section, and the way I like to do the authority section is like, now, who am I to make bold statement and all these claims that I've just made? Well, first I'll give you the bullshit reason, and then I'll give you the real reason. And I like to make that as a little joke. Then I'll go into with the bullshit reason. Now the bullshit reason is because and then I'll talk about all the accomplishments that I've had. Then I'll go into, but the truth is, you don't really care about that, and I don't think you should judge me based on what I've done. But what about the people that I've helped have done? And then I'll get in now the real reason, and then I'll go through a whole bunch of case studies. I'll go through average results. I'll go through Trustpilot reviews, whatever, social proof, and as much as I can possibly add in there from there. Then I'll get into the new opportunity. Now, how I like to introduce the new opportunity is through the origin story as to how I developed it, right? So what we do today here at Catalyst Holdings is we help people introduce the HoldCo model, where essentially what you do is that instead of following the traditional SMMA route, you charge people one time up front. You guarantee a specific dream outcome. Once you've reached that dream outcome, you start charging attributed revenue based off of that. And then on average, 20% of your clients are going to fail. 60% of your clients are going to meet your guarantee. They're going to be happy. You're going to get reviews, all that good stuff. And then 20% of your clients are absolutely going to crush it. And you're continually going to increase your performance billables until it makes much logical sense for them to actually stop paying you the performance and give you equity in their company instead, right? This is how we've gotten equity in 3 of our top clients' businesses, and that's how we've been able to skyrocket our agency's valuation without actually having to build a huge agency on the front end, right? And so that is the new opportunity that we have developed here and that we pursue, and it's why we've succeeded as much as we had in such a short period of time here at Catalyst Holdings. Now, when I go into this and how I would pitch this in a video sales letter is I would talk about how I actually developed this. I would talk about how when I started and I wasn't making any money and all the things that I tried in the past, and then how the time that I had to shut down this agency, and I would go through the origin story, and then I would be like, and then I stumbled across this new idea and I tried implementing it, and at first it didn't work, right? But then I realized that it wasn't working because of this. So I made that change. I saw these results, and then, case study, results. Then once I've introduced them to that new opportunity, I'll break down the framework, right? So step 1 is to do this, and here's how to do that. Step 1 is to do this, and here's how to do that. And step 3 is to do this, and here's how to do that. Then I'll go in and share more proof, right? But hey, it's not just me. These people have done this, these people have done this, these people have done that. And then I'll hit them with my first offer, right? So this is typically going to be 80 to 90% into it, when I'll be like, now, do you want me to do this for you? Well, if you do, here's what I can offer you. Then I'll go through and I'll splinter stack each individual service that we offer. I'll stack it again and again and again. I'm constantly showing them how much it either costs me to develop it on my own. So for example, one of the things that will help people do is plug and play paid ad infrastructures as well. And I'd be like, hey, I spent over $1 million on ads to figure out which ones work. Right? So you can go and do the same thing that I did and test hundreds of thousands of different creatives and headlines and scripts and all these kind of things. Or you can just take what's already working from me today actively and just copy paste it into your business, right? So I compare, what it would cost for them to do on their own versus doing it with us. Or the other way to do that is if they wanted to go with another provider, what it would cost on their own. So for example, another thing that we'll do is done for you cold email acquisition for our clients, right? In this case, let's say, hey, one option, you could pay a cold email agency $3,000 a month for 3 months, which is going to equal $9,000, or you could do it with us as a part of everything else that you're going to get in addition to working with us. And then at the end, it'll be a CTA to book a call. Now, once we book a call, and this is very important, right? We need to get them to show up to the call, and then more importantly, we need to get them to close when they do show up to the call. But here's the thing. You have to remember that this is cold traffic. They don't know who you are. They don't like you, and they don't trust you, right? So in the span of them seeing an ad to them showing up to a call in 48 hours max, how do we get them to go from I don't know you, I don't like you, I don't trust you, to I know you, I like you, I trust you, and I want to do business with you? Well, that comes down to the indoctrination sequence. Now, we do the indoctrination sequence in 2 parts. The first thing is when the appointment gets booked, we'll send 1, 2, 3 SMS reminders, typically 24 hours out, 2 hours out, and then 10 minutes before the call. Hey, just a reminder, typical Calendly style, show up to the call. Right. But then in addition to that, and here's where the magic happens, is we will send 8 to 12 emails from the time that they booked a call to the time that they show up to the call. Now, you might think that that's a lot and people are just going to get annoyed. But here's the thing. When somebody books a call with you, they are going to be doing research on you to figure out if they should show up to the call or not. Now, you have a choice here. You can either let the World Wide Web do their research, give them the information to do their research on you, or you can give them the information to do their research on you, right? Now, I'm not saying that bad reviews or anything like that, right? But what will happen, for example, let's say, you're in the dental niche, right? And you book a call with somebody and it's 48 hours out and you don't send them any information. You don't send them what you do. You don't send them videos. You don't send them value. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to go into Google and they're going to search out, do Facebook ad agencies work in 2024? And then they're going to see some Reddit post about some dentist who got scammed by a Facebook ad agency. And then they're going to believe, oh, Facebook ad agencies don't work. I'm not going to show up to the call. And as a result, your show rate is going to suck, right? So instead of letting that scenario play out, we give them the information for them to do their research on us. And so in this, onslaught of emails that we send, we'll send typically 2 to 3 of our biggest case studies. We'll resend again our VSL for them to watch. We'll send them maybe a couple videos on, objection overcomes that we know that they're going to come up on the call, or frequently asked questions. We'll send them videos where we answer their frequently asked questions, videos that show frame by producing value, right? Showing how we did this, or breaking down a case study, or, hey, this is the new thing that we're implementing with the dental companies in 2024. In addition to that, obviously just any value content, right? If you do have any form of organic content, which ones have gotten the most reviews? If you track it using a software such as Hyros, okay, which content has attributed to the most ROI, to the most revenue generated? For example, we track every single piece of content that we put out on YouTube or Instagram. So I can see anytime somebody buys or starts working with our agency, I know exactly what videos that they watched before they decided to work with us. So I will send them the videos that have converted the most people. I will send those videos to new prospects in between the time that they book a call and the time that they show up to the call. In addition to that is any authority, right? So maybe if you're on other podcasts or things like that, just essentially give people ample opportunity to do their research on you. So That is a full breakdown of the high ticket funnel that we've been using to scale not one, not two, but three different companies past $100,000 a month. And we did it in 90 days or less. Now, to break it down again, you start with a great offer. You break down the numbers to make sure it's viable. You use the sophisticated market funnel overview. Your ads offer solutions to specific problems. They go hook, proof, what, pitch, and then CTA. Your opt-in is very curiosity based to get their name, email, phone number. Then you do a 20 to 30 minute long VSL where you spend 80% of the time showing them a new opportunity, teaching them how you accomplish what you've accomplished. And then at the last 20%, you offer for them an opportunity to work with you. And then you make sure that you hammer them with emails between the time that they book a call to the time that they show up to the call, so they can do the right research on you and they show up to the call warmed up, ready to go. So hope you guys got value out of watching this video. I had fun making it. If you have any questions about this, feel free to just leave a comment below and I'll personally jump in there and respond. Other than that, I wish you guys the absolute best with your business and hope to see you guys in the next video.